You ever walk into a room and instantly know you don't belong? Now picture that room dripping with marble, old money, and a kind of chill that has nothing to do with air conditioning, and you're the new nanny, the only black woman in a mansion where every portrait on the wall stares at you like you wandered in off the wrong bus line. Yeah, that was Kesha Williams' first 5 minutes at the Whitmore house. You know what I mean? And by the third minute, she already knew exactly how this story would end. Or, at least, how she'd make sure it did. The day it all cracked wide open. Gloria is 60 years old, 15 years of housekeeper status, and a self-declared guardian of the Whitmore legacy, threw an accusation across the foyer that sounded like a courtroom gavel. That woman is drugging the children. Her voice could have shattered a crystal vase. Mr. James, it's not possible that two kids who screamed all night suddenly sleep like angels. Now, most folks might have flinched or fired back. Kesha just stood there, hands calm, eyes clear, watching the drama roll out like she'd already read the script. Let me back up a sec. For 6 months after his wife died, James Whitmore, real estate mogul, heart looking permanently cracked, couldn't get his twin girls to sleep for more than a couple hours a night. Every nanny bolted in tears. He'd gone through 6. But then Kesha arrived. No fancy references, just a steady voice and a confidence that made you want to sit up straighter, even if you were the boss. Within a week, the twins, Ruby and Rose, slept 8 hours, laughed again, and played in the garden. It was a miracle if you believed in those. Gloria, though, believed in control. That's when Gloria hit the roof. She's from Detroit, Mr. James. No respectable references. And suddenly our girls are cured. Her words had the venom of someone who'd seen too many others like Kesha, or thought she had. But Kesha, all 28 years old and poised like she belonged in a boardroom, not a nursery, just nodded. If you want to know what happens at night, let's put cameras in the girls' room. Dead silence. Who asks for surveillance when they're guilty? That right there, that's confidence, or was something else entirely. James watched all this like he was standing on a cliff's edge, torn between loyalty and relief. The truth? He'd started noticing Kesha wasn't like anyone else who'd passed through his life. She spoke 3 languages, quoted child trauma studies off the top of her head, and sometimes it seemed like she saw right through you. So when she offered up video of her nighttime routines with the girls, the tension in the room snapped, and suddenly, everyone's cards were on the table. The twist? Kesha knew what was coming because she'd lived it before. She'd watched her own mother scrub the floors in houses like these, always on the outside looking in, always outnumbered. She knew what it meant to carry secrets and be underestimated. What Gloria didn't know was that Kesha had a master's in child psychology, had run her own trauma clinic in Detroit, and had chosen this job for reasons that had nothing to do with paychecks. This was about more than sleepless twins. But Gloria wasn't backing down. She acts too calm, Mr. James. Like she's hiding something. James had to admit it. There was something unsettling about how unbothered Kesha was, like she was 3 steps ahead in a chess match none of them knew they were playing. And then Kesha, soft as you please, dropped a bomb. Actually, I do know things you don't. She looked at James, then at Gloria. I know Ruby wakes up at 2:30 every night, dreaming she's falling, just like her mom did. I know Rose checks every lock in the house before bed because, to her, the world stopped being safe the night her mother didn't come home. Silence. You could feel the weight of it. How did Kesha know details James never shared with anyone? Even more, how did she know Gloria was poisoning the neighborhood well, warning other nannies that this family needed someone of their own kind? The answer landed like a hammer. She'd heard the whispers. But, twist again, she had evidence and receipts. Kesha opened a folder, her real resume. I didn't take this job because I needed the work. I took it because your family needed more than a nanny. She slid audio of a call from Dr. Coleman, the twins' pediatrician, confirming her background and confirming that Gloria had tried to block Kesha's hiring from day one. That's when James' world began to shift. This wasn't about bedtime stories. This was about history, privilege, and a reckoning that was overdue. But there was still another shoe to drop. Remember Marcus Johnson? Kesha asked, watching James' face as he pieced it together. The engineer he'd fired, the one Gloria. Marcus was Kesha's brother. She'd come not just for the twins, but to investigate how deep the rot went. James sat down hard, realization hitting like a tidal wave. 16 Black or Latino employees fired or demoted at Gloria's urging over 3 years, all covered by innocent-sounding HR notes and friendly chats at company parties. "You operated in the shadows, Gloria," Kesha said, voice never rising. "But I document everything." She had every email, every WhatsApp message, every instance of sabotage and prejudice all organized, all ready. The air changed. James looked at Gloria, the woman he'd trusted for 15 years, and saw a stranger. Kesha revealed even more: blocked hires, sabotage promotions, and a web of discrimination stretching from the nursery to the boardroom. Every attempt Gloria made to defend herself, "I was protecting the family's values," only made it worse. What values are those? James shot back. Prejudice? At that moment, the twins burst into the room, waving drawings of Kesha, reading them stories under the stars. The contrast hit everyone. Here were children, finally safe and happy, cared for by the very person who had been so doubted. James realized, maybe for the first time, that his job as a father wasn't just to protect, but to change, to face the ugliness inside his own home and do something about it. Gloria was fire that day, not with drama, but with the heavy finality of truth exposed. James promised a full company audit, outreach to every employee affected by Gloria's influence, new hiring policies, the works. The Whitmore house felt lighter, as if the walls had finally exhaled. 6 months later, the Whitmore twins slept soundly, went to a new school, and called Kesha Auntie instead of Nanny. Marcus Johnson ran a new department at Whitmore Industries, one focused on inclusive housing. Gloria? Last anyone heard, she was cleaning rooms in a budget hotel. Her network of influence evaporated overnight. Kesha's work went viral not because she destroyed a woman, but because she rebuilt a system. She started a consulting firm to fight institutional bias, and every week, a new call came from someone ready to break their own walls down. But the best revenge wasn't getting even. It was building something better. The world didn't change because of one big showdown in a marble hallway. It changed because someone dared to gather the truth, hold it up to the light, and say, "Enough." So what do you think? Is justice just about punishing the guilty, or about giving the next generation a better shot? Drop your thoughts below. Is there really a right side? Or do we all just have to keep trying to be braver? If this story moved you, share your own experience, your doubts, your hopes for change. Sometimes, all it takes is one person brave enough to document the truth and strategic enough to use it.